like someone else's perspective, like their face, like on a Sunday morning, just like, oh, you know what? I'm about to make myself a nice coffee, nice breakfast. Listen to this podcast real quick. Like AirPods on full blast. And all you hear is these fucking idiots.
What the fuck? Well, shout out. Well, I guess I want to start with shout outs first. So shout out to anybody listening who still has to go to work, who's still, on their commute to work and all
yes.
that.
Word.
Shout out.
We salute you guys.
So, by the way, shout out to our viewers. We're live right now.
Yeah. live from the BX, Mount Vernon, and Jersey. What?
Shout out that trailer, bro. That trailer you made was fire.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. Shout out to my
podcast, y'all.
Oh, you live right now? You live right now?
Shut up.
Oh, my fault. Let me stay quiet.
Nah, but shout out to
I'm giving y'all 10 minutes. Hold on, I'm gonna go to the side and talk about it.
So yeah, guys, you're watching a production and a production happening.
Yeah, stop.
So welcome, guys. We're still quarantined. Clearly, since you're hearing us, hearing us, you're not seeing us. That won't be till everything lays low and gets better. Yo, this dude is really.
He's so stupid, bro.
2015.
What are you talking about?
Brief little rundown of that movie. All right.
I can't stop laughing.
Is it really that bad? Is it really that bad of a movie?
Yo, shut up.
Yo, y'all ready? Y'all good to go?
I was just gonna shout out.
Did y'all do the intros? Did we do the intros?
No, because
I haven't even done that yet. Because I'm just shouting out.
So hurry up, do the intros.
Oh, all right then.
Okay, let's go.
Fine. Well, welcome everyone. It's still the very brown and sterile Steve Jobs mixed with Steve Austin, aka Norman Rad, aka your host Ozymandias, here joined on live, clear audio streams by the Gustosa from the Lost Borough, aka Clown Prince. And also joined once again, thankfully, by Oscar nominee and winner for Best Extra of the Year. And also the only nigga I guess, that lives near me, that lives in that specific town that he lives in, because I'm not going to say it because I got pressed last time.
Nah, say it, bro.
He's the
Tell
only,
the viewers where all of us live right now.
Only nigga in Purchase driving an M3. My guy Magneto. And all the way from Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Shout out Jersey. Always and forever. Shout out Jersey.
The king of the gulag.
My
President
50th
of
favorite
stats
state in the United States.
Yeah, president of stats of the Boston Celtics.
That's not funny.
Senior DC correspondent, Zoom. You are chilling with villains. What's good, y'all?
Villains. It's time to podcast.
And welcome to another episode of
Was it really that bad?
Come on down.
Come on down, Fantastic Four.
Join us on the stage.
To be specific,
yeah,
right?
the 2015 version, because I refuse to revisit anything from 2005 or 2007. See ya.
What?
Those were beasts.
They were both better than this bum ass movie. Yeah, y'all know my thoughts already.
Well, yeah, guys, we're here to discuss Josh Trank's Fantastic Four or Fan Four Stick, whatever you want to say.
Release the Trank cut.
Release the Trank cut.
Can you elaborate before we get started? Can you elaborate what was the beef that went down between the studio and the director?
Sure.
Well, I kind of want to say our takes first, though, just so I don't want to be skewed by any background knowledge.
You don't want to be skewed by the tea.
Well, imagine if you knew about this whole Zack Snyder shit before
watching Justice League.
You probably would have never even stayed. You probably would never walked in.
Wait, I mean, we kind of did.
Knew everything that we knew now.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
before we start talking about any of that, before we start talking about any of this, can we talk about Ezra Miller at WrestleMania?
God.
Oh my God! All right,
WrestleMania.
This is our news segment.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
Okay.
we're starting off with
Okay,
current
let's
news.
get that out of the way then. I guess.
Fine.
Cancel.
Local man Ezra Miller.
Real World of Flash wrote the beef was mainly from what was in Ariel's mouth. Oh.
What is he talking about? Doesn't he have class?
What are you talking about? What you talking about?
Doesn't he have class? Get the fuck out of here, cuz.
Word, don't you got class units? Go to class.
Yeah, bum ass. Get out of here.
What are you doing class?
Don't you got class?
Be late for school, bro. Get out of here.
Oh, he actually does have class.
Hey, no, he does.
What was I gonna say?
Well, shout out to Real World Flash. Love you,
the Ezra Miller controversy then.
Fam, this is dumb. He choked some shorty outside of a bar because she threatened. She said, "Oh, you trying to fight?" And he was like,
How you know? Who told you that?
Y'all did. I don't know.
Nah, you don't know the full story.
Be doing that shit. Were you trying to justify it?
I don't know.
Nah, we don't know what happened. We gotta. If only Ezra Miller had social media, he could clarify things for us real quick. But since he don't,
he's already a weirdo for not having social media.
He's mad cool. Dude, I'm almost that weird.
Yo,
yeah, all right. Different.
So basically, Ezra Miller choked some shorty, and that was it. That's all we know.
No, but he choked it to the ground.
Yeah, he choked. Apparently, like I think they're exaggerating when I hear choke slam. I don't think of. It's like he almost kind of like. She just awkwardly fell. It wasn't like a choke slam. Like I'm picturing like in WWE, like you fucking picked her up and just slammed her to the
Mark Murdoch, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
but Eunice says she said she would, quote unquote, beat you up as a joke after he was showing off his scars from previous fights to her. Damn, I can't picture Ezra Miller in a fight. Like, imagine like he get real like New York, but like, yo, so what's up? Square
is he from here? Is he from here?
His voice.
I ain't fighting this dude.
His voice.
I mean, if he's from here, then yeah, I guess.
That's just like, yeah. He's like, he wants to smoke.
It's like, you want hands?
I got you.
Yo, all right.
These hands work.
These hands work.
Is that all we know though? Still?
Yeah, that's all we know. Yeah.
Apparently he was like spitting on people too, according to like the other, like that Twitter thread. But who knows? I mean, like these people are just like it's just random accounts.
Yo. Also, stay home.
Right.
I don't know why the fuck was he outside? Like,
what? Yeah, yo. I just got confirmation from the biggest Flash fan ever, Real World of Flash.
Who that guy on TikTok?
Yeah, that guy on TikTok. He's known for his TikToks.
Yeah, the guy who said Godspeed was the fastest speedster alive. That guy.
You know what Ezra's from?
No.
New Jersey. What a bum.
Oh my god.
Everything.
Let's go. Shout out to Jersey.
From dirty Jersey. Woo! The worst state in all of the states.
All right. Clearly you've never Googled Florida.
Clearly.
But was it really that bad?
What? The choke slam?
The choke slam? The movie. Let's get to the movie now.
No, because that shit was fucking terrible. They gotta recast his ass. But
I find a good position to hold my phone and not really show my bean. I got that quarantine cut bean.
What happened to only 4 people?
Quarantine.
Well, I'm on live now, so I mean, a lot more people have seen it.
So now it went from 4 to 5.
Exactly.
To 7 to 8. But
so, all right.
So we're not going to. You don't want me to go into the tea.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
You can go last, and then you can give us the tea after your take.
All right. Cool.
So who's going first?
Mark, wait, who saw it first? Who legit saw it first? Oh, Mark saw it first. So you go ahead.
I didn't. Okay, I'll go. Okay.
Come on down, Zoom.
We're talking about Fantastic Four, the 2015 movie.
Yes, the one with Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan. So the first 15 minutes, it had me pretty interested. Actually, I was like, because I kind of forgot what the whole plot was like, because I saw it actually originally in theaters when it came out.
What's your knowledge on the Fantastic Four? Like,
Not a lot.
No, not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not as crystal
My knowledge
Look
is
at
the
that.
2005 movie.
You gotta respect that, guys. You gotta admit when you don't know something.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to them. But I kind of liked. I mean, maybe that's a reason why I kind of liked the reason that they were like all younger than the previous versions of them. Yeah, like they were all kind of younger, kind of like was like college kids, like master student kind of shit. Like I could see them in like that kind of age range. But the kids acting in the beginning, like, you know, when they were doing the flashback, I thought that was like not good acting. But I mean, they're kid actors.
They're kids.
Yeah, kid actors are the worst unless you're Jacob Tremblay.
Okay. So I thought Reed and Sue's chemistry was actually all right. Not like all right.
Yo, let him talk, my guy.
I said all right. Not amazing. But I haven't seen the older ones in a while, but I don't know. I felt like this one was better. They had better chemistry in like that one movie than they did in their first movie together. But I could be wrong. I have to watch it again. I'm saying I have to watch it again.
You're brave, dude.
I am brave.
You have to watch the rest of the show tomorrow, 9 a.m. Spotify, Apple Music. Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Any different podcasting tool you can see on there. My fault, y'all can't watch us, but you can.
Yeah, you would have thought.
Yo, but don't forget to.
Okay, so, I thought Victor, the guy who played Doom,
Toby Kebbell.
Yes, I thought he was interesting. I loved how they kind of like made him like right off the bat, they kind of like let you know, okay, this dude is like super fucking smart, like when he went in to go recruit him, he had like his whole apartment was like wired to like that like little chip on the side of his head, like he shut the blinds and like all this other shit, which is like cool. And something weird I noticed, you know, when Johnny Storm, when they brought him in, like he had a broken arm, right?
Yeah.
Yo, and like seconds later, he's like welding.
He's welding. I literally have it saying Johnny Storm welding with one arm? Question mark. What?
Yo.
So that was weird. Not attention to
My
detail.
only take is that they like time jumped a bit. It had to be. There's no way they just.
Well, yeah, that whole shit was a montage. That shit was like weeks,
but
months.
It felt like no time passed though.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
Also, you don't know he broke his arm. It could have just been like a.
Yeah, it could have been a fracture, but still, I mean, literally hours later, or it looked like the same day, he was out of the cast and welding with his. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So like, you just don't know, like, so. Which is fine, like, or not fine, but like it's like every attention to detail. Like
it's not fine, but
it's fine, but not fine.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was cool, like kind of seeing them all working together. I kind of like felt like they just took Ben and just said, okay, like they needed to find a better way to work Ben into the equation here in this plot. What's trash?
Ben, like the way they just brought him in.
It was like I liked how they set them up, him and Reed in the beginning. I thought they had good chemistry too, and then I was like, okay, cool, because like I honestly thought, I was like, oh yeah, he moves in with him or something like that. I fucking forgot, and then when he said, oh yeah, I'm going, like he's like, oh yeah, you belong here, like all this shit, and then all of a sudden he's gone. I was like, this motherfucker went back to the. I was like, what? I was like, come on. Like and then he calls him like at fucking 2:00 in the morning, and he just somehow shows up there, probably not driving. I don't know how the fuck he got there, but he drove there.
The 7 train, dude. I think they live in Queens.
Where does Reed live? His hometown.
I'm pretty sure it's Queens. Let me see. I'll look that up while you keep talking.
It didn't look like a Queens.
It didn't look like New York at all, but
wherever he was. I mean, but again, it was like a suburby kind of. It looked like a suburb kind of place.
Yeah. That just so happened to have a junkyard there too, but you know.
Right.
Nah, but little shit like that, like I'm not nitpicking that.
Yeah.
I'm nitpicking everything.
It was just a question in my head when I saw it. I was like, okay, whatever. And I think also I thought a great point made by Doom when I was watching. I was like, oh wow, it's actually kind of true. I was like, he's like, when he was talking about the first people to walk on the moon, and he was like, you know, who.
Yeah.
You guys know who built that?
Yeah,
You guys know
like
who built that?
That shit was dope. That was a very
Like,
good like
and
that was a thumbs up.
Oh hell yeah! I was like actually impressed. Now I was like, I kind of wish. I thought he was a good Doctor Doom, to be honest. I thought he was like one of the few.
Huh?
Not great. I'm not saying he's amazing. I'm just saying he wasn't terrible.
2 minutes of screen time.
No, okay.
Dr. Doom.
Listen. My point is like he had good like moments of like with the writing was good and he wasn't terrible he wasn't a bad actor.
Oh yeah, he wasn't. He was
like
alright.
that's my point. It's like he if he had like a better like I guess arc where you saw what happened to him when they fucking left him at the fucking place.
Yeah,
the other dimension. Yeah, other than that, you just see
like a 1 hour movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like shortest film I've ever watched. Oh, this motherfucker is smacked.
Yeah, this motherfucker is smack, bro.
Yo, Mark, keep talking.
Sorry. He's smoking cigarettes, guys.
You get smacked off those now? Lit.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's a new shit they put in tobacco. So I think, but like prior to that whole moment where he got left in that other dimension,
Right.
I have to admit I was actually pretty impressed with how they were
With
writing
the movie as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
nah, I could see that's
like,
a valid point. That's a valid point.
I was watching it, and then prior to him getting left in that dimension, I was like, "There's no way this shit is a 9%."
Yo.
I was like, and then when
exactly right,
and then right when they left his ass,
that shit became a 9%.
Became
really quick.
I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like,
yo,
it seemed like we were following a straight line, and then they were just like, "Whoop!"
Right.
And like,
bro, the plot wasn't bad. Like, I was like, okay, like
no, dude, the plot, the story. What's his motive? Tell me right now, what's his motive?
Because
Dr. Doom, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yo,
he hates,
this shit, his motive switched up like this.
Yeah,
like, I get it.
He went from
be an
wanting
outcast.
credit. He went from wanting credit to I'm going to destroy the whole universe.
Oh, exactly. I'm like, what the fuck? And then you gonna kill the dude that's been helping you out this whole time, just like it's nothing?
Stupid.
Yo,
that shit was
let
whack.
him finish, guys, please.
What?
Finish.
All right, yo, got a minute on the clock.
Sorry,
Let's go.
Got a minute on the clock.
You gotta get timers.
I was like, oh wow, Looking Glass is in this too. That was another point I
Yeah,
had.
shout out to
that's
Looking
right, yeah.
Glass. This was a
shout out to
huge.
him.
This was another what if movie.
Y'all should call yourselves the Fantastic Four.
Wait, what?
I did not like how they had how they got their powers. Like
Corny.
I thought I was like I didn't like how all of a sudden like Ben like he gets hit by like a rock and then all of a sudden all the rocks just fucking stick to him like glue. I was like, what the
someone
fuck is
shot
this?
rocks at him.
I know. I was like, what the fuck is this?
My son Johnny just got burned alive.
Yeah, dude, there must have been
Reed got hit with, like,
there must have been an
rubber bands.
earthbender and a fucking firebender on that fucking other dimension that just fucking like.
No, that other dimension, the CGI for that place was trizzy.
This shit made no sense.
Yeah, like I think. Yeah, so like once they left him, again it went downhill. Like, I think. We also don't know how much time passed between Reed ditching them at the lab.
1 year.
And then
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah. It says
Holy
1 year
shit.
later after he runs away.
They legit.
I didn't see that.
They skipped all their training, like of just
Yeah,
becoming.
they showed like them as like a quick montage, like a quick little clip. Oh yeah, and she can do this now, and he can do this, and then
Exposition
Yeah, all the good
City.
stuff.
yeah, exactly. Like
Bro, imagine them doing that in like a Superman movie. Like they're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna skip everything that makes Superman, and we're just gonna have him
Straight
like,
to Doomsday.
yeah, It's like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, Ariel, I don't know how you think this shit is better than the one from 2005. I really don't.
Oh, no. Okay.
Not the Ariel, yeah. I'm gonna start.
So-
Hold on.
So, okay, I'm almost done, guys. Don't worry. What the hell was that?
Oh no, I heard it too. You heard it?
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Junior. I was fucking you. He fucking.
Go ahead, bro.
Anyway, I liked how Doctor Doom, his powers. I just didn't like how he looked. It was like
Whack.
it was weird. I was like, it was like unsettling almost. I was like, what is this?
Oh, that was Dr. Doom?
I know, right?
Couldn't tell.
But I did like how his powers like looked when they were like showing him using them. I thought that was
he's OP.
he is OP. Like, dude, he was walking around just fucking killing everybody in that lab.
Is that how
Everybody
he
in
is?
sight.
Dude,
I know shit
he's.
about Fantastic Four. So is that how he is?
I know Doctor Doom is just OP.
Yeah,
I know he's OP, but he's like that, like from the get-go. Like, what the fuck?
Nah, that's the thing though. Like
But it's been a year. It's been over a year.
Like,
on that dimension.
Who
No,
the
I
fuck you
get
been
it.
practicing that shit on?
Well, he's been it doesn't matter.
oh, just air. I'm just gonna violate the air. Like,
He can destroy the like. There's like little structures and shit. I'm sure he could destroy or whatever.
yeah,
But
Jedi training.
right. Yeah. So I wasn't a big fan of how he looks. What do you guys think, Michael B. Jordan or Chris Evans as Human Torch?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Okay. I agree.
I mean, and it's
Everyone
no
from the
diss,
fucking 2005 movie.
no diss to Michael B. Jordan because he's played some very good roles. Obviously, Eric Killmonger in Black Panther. But I feel like the script, like the writing didn't do any of them justice because some of that
Exactly.
dialogue was fucking corny.
Don't blow up. Don't blow up. Don't blow up. I was like, oh my
Nah,
god.
there was one. I'm trying to remember what was that one thing. I should have wrote this shit down. Where I was like, oh god, I was like, but yeah, Mark, go ahead, continue because I'm
Oh,
not hitting
one
you.
more thing. The way that Ben knocked Reed out in the forest. Did anybody think that looked weird? I
How
was
did
like,
he do it again?
Yeah.
he like headbutted him, but it was like it looked like he just went like this and just like tapped his head and he was like,
Yeah. He
and
just
fell.
laid his forehead on Reed's forehead.
Yeah, it was weird. It was
Oh,
so strange.
man, that was terrible.
Ariel under his breath. So the final fight, underwhelming as fuck.
That shit was like 5 minutes.
That was a fight.
Yeah,
That-
exactly.
That was just them
That shit was-
pushing
that
each
shit
other.
was-
Yo, I dead
Horrible.
remember clicking the space bar to see how much time I had left.
Yeah.
Like when they started fighting, and there was only like 10 minutes left.
10 minutes
I was
left.
like,
Yeah, I saw
I
that
was
too.
like,
I was like, what?
Yeah. Dude,
I
the
was like,
movie
did I get a
so
bad
quick.
copy?
So I think
A bad copy.
I thought it was also funny how Ben all of a sudden just didn't care about a cure at the end of the movie. Like, did anybody? I mean, like, I know he's like they were like I know like Reed had that that speech at the end where he was like, oh, like this is who we are, like whatever now. But like, I feel like Ben should be the one to be saying that.
Yeah.
Like, he is
Well,
the
exactly.
thing. His life just got turned upside down by this shit. He looks like he looks how he looks now.
pile
Like,
of
you guys-
rock.
Yeah, like come on,
They
like
did a good job with that on the old movies. They really showed how much he suffered.
right.
Yeah, OD.
He was with the blonde chick.
Well, yeah,
Kind of felt bad.
because he had a wife and all that shit, and then she left him, and then whatever. But like now they're so young, you can't really have that, which I understand. But I mean, it's like at the same time, you just have him be stressed about it because
But-
you shouldn't need to say, hey, this is gonna fuck up his life. You shouldn't even
Right.
need to show that because it's like, look how he looks. Like people are
Right.
going to be scared of him, and people are
Wait.
gonna want to talk to him.
Does the Thing have a thing?
Oh god.
The thing.
Uh,
Oh, bro.
anyway,
You think he probably makes it?
He can, right? He can build it.
He build it.
He's a little builder, a little construction.
all right.
Okay,
I'm
so
Mark
point
Evans.
inappropriate.
Yo, big man,
So-
yo, big
Gotta
man,
have
you
something
done?
in every podcast.
So are they not living in New York at the end of the? Where are they? That
Nobody
facility.
knows.
Who the
No,
fuck?
They're at a
gonna
reshoot.
be?
They're at a reshoot.
Are they
That's
gonna
where
stay
they
in the
are.
fucking rainforest? Like, where are they?
I don't know.
Like,
man.
it doesn't make any sense. But I
They're
was
in
like,
Purchase,
whatever.
New York.
I don't
So,
know. I
but
don't care.
overall,
I don't want to know.
it's just as bad as I.
As you remember it.
It's kind of tough to say this. So like, when I went to the movie theater, I walked away and I was like, oh, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Like it was still it wasn't that great, but like that's because like I had that movie theater experience. You know what I mean? But once you all that away and you actually sit down and watch the movie, you're like, okay, yeah, like I still remember kind of like as I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, now I remember this part and whatever, and I remember why I didn't like that or whatever. So it's kind of like, it's like if I didn't have that movie theater experience, I probably would have thought it was just like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like just as bad as. So I'm gonna say it's just as bad as I thought, or just as bad as I remember. And however, I don't think it deserves a 9 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's
what does it deserve then, Mark?
Ooh,
10.
honestly, it probably deserves like a 20%. I'd give it
20%.
I'd give it a 20 or a 25.
Now, what do
Also
you
like BVS.
what do you rate it?
Well,
then?
BVS is unfairly ranked on that fucking thing. That should be like a
28%.
900.
Well, that's just rude.
Yes. Yeah, literally.
So,
Words
but
of
do you?
Zack Snyder.
So that's most of my points. Oh, and also, how did a dude in underwear escape a highly classified and fortified army base? Underwear. Like
But he could
he
stretch.
just found out he
Here's
had
my
his
thing, too.
powers.
Here's
He
my
couldn't
thing
know how to
too.
use them.
They just allowed these motherfuckers to just operate whatever they wanted. Like if Sue was like, oh, like I just need to step outside real quick for like a smoke, they would like let her do it. Like no matter where they were, like the facility was just allowing them to be there, like roam around free. Like
No,
it's
because they
like-
agreed. They
'Cause they agreed
to
to
like
help
help.
Yeah, so they're not going to treat them like slaves.
I don't know. I still found that kind of like it's either you're gonna be harsh on them or you're not. Like I don't. But like, God, Mark,
So-
let me know whenever you're done.
I'm done now.
You're done. All
Alright,
right. Well, we should go take a little break.
This shit was fucking ass. Let me explain myself.
And this shit right here.
Nah, but all in all, like I remember it came out, and at that time, like I still wasn't crazy as I am now about like superhero and comic books. And then back then, especially, I was all about like the ratings, and I saw like, oh, that shit got a 9%. I'm like, I'm definitely not watching this shit then. So I never did. So then we started this segment, and I'm like, yikes, now I kind of have to. But exactly what Mark said, I would say the first half hour, I was very much so invested. Yeah, there was just little things here and there, but at least the story was still, as Mark had mentioned, linear. Things were still making sense. Everything was still cool up to that point.
Right.
So and not for nothing, like the cast is not a bad cast. Like
I know. Sorry.
what happened?
Ariel, it's like I hear him pouring out his fucking cup. He is getting
I'm sorry.
lit right
I'm sorry.
now.
I'm sorry. I was just pouring Sprite. My bad.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
See,
So,
I lose
yeah.
time on my take for that. My bad.
The what's it called? The cast, like Miles Teller, he's been in a lot of movies that I've thoroughly enjoyed.
I liked his read better than the other guy's read. But
Yo, you're fucking bugging.
Dude,
Yo, y'all must
Stop
have
talking,
not
stop
watched
talking.
those other movies.
I did.
Yo,
When? Did you watch it when it came out?
I watched those a lot. That first one a lot, and I watched the second one a decent amount, like probably
bro,
10
he
times.
literally did nothing better than what's his name? The other guy.
What's his name?
I don't know, the other guy.
I got you right now. Hold on.
But Miles Teller, though, as you look that up, Ariel, like he was in Whiplash, Insurgent. He was in that movie. He had another movie with Michael B. Jordan that I really like. And Zac Efron was in it.
That awkward moment.
Yeah,
That's a funny one. That's a good one.
yeah. So like he's in a lot of good shit. Michael B. Jordan, obviously. Jamie Bell, who by the way, who played the Thing, looks exactly like an older Tom Holland. I don't know if
he looks like Tom Holland's evolution.
right. Like that's gonna be Tom Holland when the next Spider-Man movie comes out. That's gonna be him.
Oh, by the way, the Mr. Fantastic from the other one was Eoin Grufford from Wales, UK.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Change it.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him for being a better Reed Richards. Not to say Miles Teller was bad, but the script didn't allow him to be good, is what I'm trying to say. Tim Blake Nelson, who was Looking Glass in Watchmen. And then you had the dude that played Franklin Storm, right? He was in Luke Cage. He was Luke Cage's pops.
Oh,
I didn't watch after season like 1.
Damn. There's only one more season, so
Okay, well, good.
Oh my god, who?
but
This is not interesting.
I thought he and Dr. Doom were the two, or sorry, Victor Von Doom before becoming Dr. Doom were the two highlights of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't like we're saying it was rushed, but it was rushed in a different way than Green Lantern, how we talked about in our last podcast. Like this was like a rushed movie with no context, if that makes sense. It's like they're rushing the story and they're not giving any. They'll just show you a scene and you'll be like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
that was it?
Yeah, like I feel like with Green Lantern, it was like you didn't see him training and all that shit, and they just rushed him being a perfect
None of the
Green Lantern.
relationships had any meaning to me. None of the relationships had any meaning. Like this scene right here where Von Doom was, about to kill Sue, and
Right.
he was like, oh, I could have pictured us as something else. Like you got little tads and bits that he had like a crush on her, like here and there, but nothing to be like.
Yeah, they had like a past.
Oh, like-
I felt like they had like a past fling or something like that.
Right.
Like nobody, they didn't say anything.
Exactly. I'm like, oh my god. And then again, to my point where he just killed Franklin Storm, I'm like, he went 0 to 100 like it was nothing. Or cool, he was stranded for a whole year in that other dimension. Awesome.
Right.
Show that. Explain more of it.
Yep.
Like give us feedback what he was doing there, how he was treated over there, like how he embraced his full powers. None of that. Nope. They're like, he's just gonna come back, fuck shit up for like 2.5 minutes, and then be dead. Cool.
Yeah.
Great. And the same thing with Reed, with Mr. Fantastic and the Thing. Like, yeah, I think they had the best relationship that we actually saw because we saw them as kids.
Yeah, I think they had a good relationship that I actually kind of cared about.
I know. How old How old were they when they were at that science fair? They look like two grown ass fucking men at like a 5th grade science fair.
Yeah, I think they were like seniors in high school. I think, or something like that.
I guess I don't
Yeah,
know.
but there was like a
Because they got
5-year-old
offered to go to that school.
Yeah, it said 7 years later.
7 years. They're maybe like what? He was probably like 10 when he made that shit. So 17 puts him around high school senior year.
All right, I guess.
yeah.
All right.
I had to do the math in my head because I was like, I was thinking the same thing as you. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how old are they right now?
He just borrowed a little kid's like plane, like. But okay, I think they had the best relationship,
I agree.
and theirs was the most. Like they had more foundation than any other characters, really. Like the relationship between Johnny Storm and his father didn't feel that at all. Like he's like, oh, like you crashed the car you used my money on, like now you have to earn it, so you're gonna come work with me. And then they had another scene where Johnny was just like nah, like I like this, like I like these powers, cool. And then the scene where he died, and that was it. Like they had a scene in the beginning, a scene in the middle, a scene in the end, but not once did I feel like when he was dying, I was all like, oh, like no, not once. I was like, I really don't care.
It's hard to do that in like one movie though.
Huh?
Come on,
What?
bro. Come on, Mark.
I'm not.
Steve
okay.
Trevor,
Wait,
when
wait,
Steve
they did.
Trevor was on a plane and was dying and told Diana, I love you. I felt that shit. I didn't
Right.
feel that shit with this.
Right, but he's not like secondary, like that's like the next star of the movie. It's like Gal.
Got it.
And then it's him.
Okay, let me give you another one. Papa Kent going to save the dog and gets fucking clapped.
Come on,
clap.
man.
All the feels. All the
Snyder,
on.
though. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it's difficult.
It's really not. They just did a terrible job at it.
I'm not saying it was good
So
either.
quit
I'm
your
just
job.
saying. I'm not saying it was. I'm not
Quit your
saying.
job. What's going on?
I'm not saying that it was okay. I'm just saying that it's like it's a little tougher. It's a little on the tougher side. I was just making a point. I wasn't just like trying to defend it. I was like saying in the sense that it's like it's Reed, and Johnny Storm, Ben, and Sue, and Victor Von Doom, and then him. Like with Men of Steel, it was Clark Kent, Lois Lane, his parents, and then
They shouldn't have done a Dr.
and then his
Doom.
parents.
Then no Dr. Doom then in the beginning. They should have worked on him and set him up for the next movie. Just
Right.
like I said for
That
Green
would've been
Lantern.
brilliant.
Exactly. No, exactly. Like, and I can't wait for all these behind the scenes talk that Ariel's gonna put us on to. But in terms of the physical movie that we got now, that we've, visually saw, that was in theater put out, no character development for really any of them.
Yep.
Like to be honest, like
Yeah.
not even Mr. Fantastic, definitely not for Sue Storm.
Yep.
None of them were relatable. None of them were like caught my attention. None of them were funny. Like nothing. Like and it's not the actors' faults because these are good actors. Just
Yeah,
with
they had a
no
great
material
cast.
to work with.
They had a great cast.
My thing, like, let's say I was an actor in Hollywood and I saw a script. Like, can I just be like, no?
You can
Like
tell
this.
them no, but I mean,
I'm not.
You can't see the
Dialogue,
full thing.
I am not
man.
saying. Like, I'm not saying this piece of dialogue. Like, especially like, because some of the shit was just corny, badly written. Oh my god. No, it 100% deserved the 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, in my opinion. Again, we don't go off of it. Yeah, if y'all know us, if y'all been listening to us, we don't go off Rotten Tomatoes scores because we love BVS and we know how that turned out. But if there was one movie where I'm like, yeah, they definitely deserved it, it was this one. Again, no fault of the actors, no fault, apparently, depending on what Ariel's going to provide for us, of the writers, the directors. At the end of the day, they had a script. It looked like it was going somewhere. And then when I looked at it, there was only like half an hour left. And I'm like, how are they going to fit all of this in half an hour? And that's why it didn't turn good, because they couldn't fit this in half an hour. They needed, if they could have done this whole story that they had thought out in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I wouldn't have minded. As long as it's good, as we always say. But this was just rushed with no context, with no character development. Like in
Junior, stop what you're doing.
Okay.
And go write the script.
Right. You're right.
Please.
So, yeah, Ariel, Mark take care of Green Lantern. I'm gonna take care of Fantastic Four. I'm gonna hit up Feige tomorrow, see if he wants me to get started, jumpstart on something on Fantastic Four.
Since you home
Yeah,
anyway.
you got time,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much.
What's your trash scale?
The first 30 minutes was a lot better than I had thought, and then it was a lot worse.
Shit is even worse than I thought. Damn.
Even worse than I thought. That's what I'm giving it. That was no bueno. And at the end, like that corny shit, like, oh, I know what we're gonna call ourselves. And then
don't get me started with the name drops. How about when they name drop Dr. Doom when she called him Dr. Doom?
Yeah,
or she said something about Doom, and then he got a little fucking
he was like
excited about
he
it.
said something, and he was
he said, oh, maybe humanity deserves to like die.
Okay, Dr. Doom.
And she's like, okay, Dr. Doom.
Right. It's like I just hate when they're so on the nose with like their Easter eggs.
But
it's
that's
just like
horrible.
Okay.
But
it's not even an Easter egg. It's like
it's not.
spoon-fed.
Yeah.
It's like a really bad pun. It's like a super meta and bad pun like that. It's really not good. Don't do that.
It is a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it is a Marvel movie. You're right. You're right.
But
a Marvel movie produced by Fox. Fuck out of here, cuz.
One of the highlights of the film was Tom Hanks' son, Cheat Hanks.
Chet Hanks.
Yeah, he was the Thing's big brother, who was bullying him. And
Yo, that was garbage. He was just like, I've never seen like acting so like, and then his mom came in, and it looked like she was smacking him, but she was just like I guess pushing his shoulder. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
Did
that
they
was
have
mad
like only
quick.
4 minutes with these actors for them to be like, all right, we just got one shot, my guys? Like, like what was that?
Right, like you so I'm gonna finish off on this point. I saw the potential, especially with characters like Doctor Doom. Like he started to get compelling, and then it just ended. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
He stopped being compelling when they left him in the fucking other dimension.
Yeah, 100%. And because again, to your point, where they were getting drunk and he was talking about it, it's like you don't remember the guys that actually worked on it and made it work. You remember just the guys that landed on the moon. I'm like, that's a valid point. But then again, Brian's point is like he went 0 to 100 real quick. He's like, oh, okay, now I just want to live. I want to live by myself. That's exactly what he wanted. He's like,
Yeah, fucking idiot.
Like what the fuck is the point of that? Like, there's a difference
And he
between
never
world
ex-
domination
he
and just
never-
being a loner.
There was no like explaining, like they didn't show like why he wanted to do that at all.
Right, which they could have done if they gave him time on that other dimension where you find out what the fuck he's doing.
Right. And like I see a trend with like any movie that turned out bad, majority of the time it's just a rush script.
Yep.
And just no character development and context. You know, we've
Cash grabs.
Yeah, I really don't know what Fox was thinking with this one. Like, what did they really expect? But again, we'll wait for Ariel's take. But Brian, go ahead, take the reins. I'm done.
All right, it's gonna be pretty hard to mention new stuff because y'all hit pretty much everything. But my biggest wait, Junior, what's your trash scale?
I said it was worse than I thought.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my biggest thing was Doctor Doom, and his like just all of a sudden like
0 to 100.
turning into
Right.
I just love how they did it in the old movies. He kind of slowly got to it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Which is what you should have done.
All the relationship between him and the Fantastic Four, and this you don't really see his relationship with them.
Right.
No, you don't. And I think in this movie, I feel like also why I felt like it was rushed is they focused way too much on their lives before they got the powers. Like in my opinion, like yeah, it went well and it could have worked out if it was a 3-hour movie.
Right.
But realistically, they needed another 30 minutes, and they should have focused less on their lives before the powers and focused on their lives after they got the powers and how they adjust to it.
That wasn't
and then,
a Fantastic Four movie. It was just like a fan 4 movie. Like there was there was nothing of them with their superpowers.
No, it was stupid. Like the whole thing with Johnny Storm, like slowly learning his abilities in the old movie was so dope. And also this Johnny Storm was whack. Like Michael B. Jordan's was whack. He wasn't like
he couldn't control it.
Cocky.
He still really couldn't control it. To be honest, I feel like he couldn't do it by himself.
He could. Like I
Like,
just like
he needed to hit a button. He kept
fucking
hitting a button
Chris
on his suit. Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
He kept
that
like
was
hitting a
whack.
button, and then he would say "flame on," and then he hit a button.
Yeah, that was stupid. He
So,
wasn't as cocky. Like I liked how he was cocky in the old movie, and because he was like that one asshole of the group.
I know he's supposed
Fucking-
to be like that from the comics.
Yeah,
Like, I know
he's like that.
cocky.
Johnny Storm is like the fucking frat bro,
Dick.
basically.
Yeah, and they had that terrible joke at the end. Like the one like joke where he made that was actually kind of relatable to what his character should be was like at the end when he was like, "Oh yeah, and you're the person nobody wanted" or something, and it was like not even a good joke. It was just like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Yeah, he's supposed to be like an asshole like that.
Yeah,
And fucking Ben's like, his whole character was whack. Like he just got thrown in. He was like Reed's little bitch basically the whole time. It was stupid. Like he should have been part of the team from the start.
absolutely.
What I would have liked is if Reed was like, okay, but he has to come with me.
Right.
When they wanted him to go to the school.
He can, yeah, and then him and Johnny could have been like welding shit, and like I'm sure he knows how to work that shit.
In the comics, they were roommates, I believe. Ben and
Reed.
Reed. So let me fact check that though for you guys. But go ahead, Brian. Continue.
Yeah, like that was just stupid. Like I don't know. And then the relationship between Reed and Sue was whack. It just wasn't there for me. I didn't like it at all.
No,
the way they got their powers, bro, I cannot stress how
that shit
fucking
was
terrible.
That really was
bro.
bad.
Oh my god,
That was like that was my
rocks.
least favorite part. Yeah, all of a sudden,
rocks shot at him, and then fucking fire came out of nowhere for Johnny Storm, and what fucking rubber bands hit Reed. Like, well, how the fuck did he get his power? Like, they were so corny. They didn't even, and in the old movie, they didn't even explain it. Like, they just went somewhere and came back, and then they had it.
It was like a comet, wasn't it? It was like in the old movies, or like it was like some kind of like solar storm, like a space storm, which still doesn't explain it either. So
but I'd rather have that than them throw it in your face, like literally rocks hitting this dude, bro. Like, nah, it's just
like, hey guys, look, he's the thing. Look at the rocks around him. Look.
But yeah, that's some shit
Reed
you would
just
see in like an
the
old
old one.
Movie.
In the old one, when he got the powers, didn't Reed just like all of a sudden just expand like super much like crazy, and like so it kind of like said, oh yeah, he's Mr. Fantastic. So
I don't know. All I gotta say is it was fucking 10 times better, and Green Lantern is 10 times better than this fucking movie, bro. This movie was horrible. It was poorly written. It was rushed.
What do you think of Dr. Doom?
No character development. Dr. Doom's fucking costume, bro. What the fuck were they thinking? He looked. I don't know how to say
Get him, my guy. Get him.
Nah.
Get him, Gostoso.
I can't say the word.
Lutar.
Oh.
He that was just so bad. So bad. And he just like pretended to be weak so he could go back to Earth. I didn't get that.
No,
he didn't explain.
No, I think he actually needed help, and they brought him back to help, like they helped him, and like he was okay, like help wise, because I think when he fell down like into that shit, he probably got injured or something.
No, he planned that. He clearly planned it. He wanted to go.
Yeah, dude, they didn't help him with shit. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. He was there.
He was like on an IV, wasn't he, and all that shit, or no?
Bro, how you gonna fucking put IV in this guy?
They just brought him on like a stretcher.
Okay,
he
I didn't see.
And then Looking Glass was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna help you," and then he was just like, "Nah, y'all ain't here to help me. Like, fuck y'all."
Yeah, and that's when he was like,
and then he revealed
his plot, but there was no fucking reveal because I have no idea what the point of that was. Also, that fucking machine that goes back and forth. Who the fuck controls that? Because this guy went in by himself and was able to do it. Like, I didn't.
Right.
What's the point of having 500 people there? I don't.
There's no explanation.
No, no. This shit was a 20% in my opinion, not a 9, but a 20.
Wow.
I kind of forgot, but when he went back to the other dimension to do his crazy bullshit, destroy the universe? How did the others go back there?
They got sucked in because he created a black hole that was going to suck the Earth.
Yeah.
And apparently he also didn't mention that black hole also created a wormhole, I guess, because I guess that's how they wanted to make that make sense, because that's the only, because a black hole is not a vacuum in space that you can just, that like a boom tube that you could just freaking jump to another part of space. Like, that's not how they work. So that was just bad math and science, I guess, on their part there.
I need you to join Junior and also help with the script. Thank you.
Damn, Ariel's a busy man, hired by DC for Green Lantern and Marvel Fantastic Four.
Well, what do you guys think if like Dr. Doom was like, if they brought him back when they all went, if he actually came back and he was like leading them, like in that in their like, you know, whatever, their task force that they formed with the government or whatever.
I don't want to give my point away yet.
Oh, sorry.
Right, wait, hold on. So, I guess that's all I had to say. But my trash scale. This is the first time I watched this movie.
Okay.
Right. So my trash scale it's even worse than I ever imagined. I don't know if that's on the scale.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's basically your shit is worse than you thought.
I do have to say.
Shit is worse than you thought. Yeah.
I do have to say, when the trailer came out, I was very excited for the movie.
So
I
was
was
I.
very hype because I loved Fantastic Four, the old one, and I was very hyped that they're doing it again with new CGI. The Thing looked cool because the only thing I didn't like the most about the old Fantastic Four was the Thing.
Hey,
Like his
I
rubber
actually do
fucking.
think he looked good. He actually good in this one.
Yeah, he
They
did.
got that right. I'll give it to them.
Yeah,
They're like,
definitely
let's
did a
take
good
all our
job.
budget and
Good.
use it on the.
I
For real.
disagree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think that. Go, just keep going, bro.
Eat my ass. And that's it, bro. I'm very disappointed, and it definitely deserves a 9, if not less, because it was so horrific, and I didn't enjoy any of it. So
Maybe it's because I didn't really feel that passionately about the other ones that I was like that I'm willing to give it more than a 9.
oh, and
Passion.
full disclosure, my only knowledge about Fantastic Four is based off the old movies.
Same here, but I didn't really like the old movies that much. All right, Arrow.
Ariel.
Don't worry. That's coming up next.
All right. So I'm gonna go off rip and say, on the record, obviously, I did not have a good time watching this.
Yeah, we all didn't.
It was very bad.
Wow, really?
It was very, very
I did not
bad.
know.
That's the point of this segment, bro.
Yeah, but
We're supposed to torture ourselves.
again,
for the
like
fan.
we're doing it for y'all, by the way.
Yeah, for real.
But I agree with you, Mark, when you said that, like, you know, the first, like, there was something about the movie in that first half that was like,
Yeah, where you're like, oh,
that the way it looks, like the color grading, like it had a style to it that I was just like, all right, I'm actually interested. Like, you got my attention, because this was a different kind of movie from the shit that we got before. Like, these were, again, younger people, so it was easier to relate.
Yeah.
As well as how serious, like, I guess the serious of a tone that it had and all that, and how it was based around science and all that. Like, it's just something cool that I've always admired about the Fantastic Four. So, but then when you get to like again, I'm agreeing with you. After the accident, it just went to shit.
yeah.
Like, it was so obvious seeing
The change.
the change in the scenes.
Is that
like,
what has to do with all that behind the scenes?
yeah, exactly. Like, you can tell where the
Yeah, that
reshoots
makes
were.
sense.
Like, Kate Mara has
Yeah.
the most terrible wig on, and Miles Teller just delivers lines like he doesn't give a shit. Like, he's moved on from this already, like months ago. It was
Right.
it was a lot of weird stuff going on with it, production wise and script wise, that it just took me out. I'm just like, and Toby Kebbell, who I know who played Victor Von Doom, he's to me a legend in stunt coordinating and motion capturing too. Like, people think that Andy Serkis is like that guy, but Toby Kebbell out here too. Like, he's done stunt work, and he starred in and did stunt work and did motion capture for King Kong, the most recent King Kong.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he did some other stuff too. That's really dope. Like, he's out here in terms of the stunt world. But his acting was just like, bleh. Like, dude, he didn't fit this part at all. And I love that dude, but no, like, I'm sorry.
You didn't like his acting?
No, it, like, again, that
Even if, like, before the accident?
before the accident, I just thought Doom was a dick. And to me, Victor Von Doom is one of the villains I respect because of how, at least how I interpret him. Victor Von Doom is a no bullshit kind of dude. Like, he seems like a kind of a Lex Luthor kind of character. You know what I'm saying? Like no bullshit, like serious.
Yo, this was Victor Von Doom Jr.
Oh yeah.
No, but like
yeah.
I kind of gave him, I kind of gave them slack on that because I thought the same thing, but I gave them slack on that just because of they were teenagers, they weren't adults yet. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I feel like that has to count for something.
Yeah, but I think even if they were young, like Reed Richards, like Miles Teller as Reed Richards, like he sold it like to me like as a younger version. I'm like, right, that works.
I agree.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Same.
Kate Mara as Sue Storm, like her whole patterns thing, that was a cool concept. Because
Yeah.
and also the dynamic of her and Johnny, Michael B. Jordan, De Lo Mio, Killmonger, love you, Fruitvale Station, love you.
Word.
What I don't know what that was. It just felt like they gave him.
That felt like a totally different.
Like I feel like they gave him the same kind of script that they gave Cyborg and fucking Doom Patrol. Like shut up,
Oh,
you're being annoying.
Watch your mouth.
I don't give a fuck, bro. Drop it.
He's off the Bugal, bro. He's off the Bugal.
Yo, say I won't shake your hand. Say I won't shake your hand.
Oh shit, that's funny. Imagine, yo, now niggas gonna be threatening you like, yo, I'm gonna dap you up, bro. You keep talking that shit, I'm gonna dap you up.
I will give you a hug right now. And I didn't wash my hands today.
but yeah, it just sucks that they gave Michael B. Jordan a script like that, as well as Kate Mara, who's amazing. And their father is actually one of my favorites out of House of Cards. Reg E. Cathy, who also unfortunately passed a couple years ago.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Oh shit.
He's like, I loved his acting in House of Cards. Like, he is an amazing actor, and he sold the concerned father role. But it was just kind of flat. Yeah. His voice is great.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, again, his script, like his role
Not
as
great.
like, it was not good. It was like what they gave him to work with was not good. I just feel like it was just not fair to the actors and to us for watching it. And yeah, this shit was even worse than I thought. This was really bad.
Wait, so what's up with all the behind the scenes joint?
I'm gonna get into that, my guy.
Wait, for Rotten Tomatoes, do you think it deserves a 9?
It deserves no score. It deserves a 0. I wish I could put on IMDb a 0. Like
This was a fan-made film.
This was a fan-made film. This wasn't even a fan-made film because.
What do you think of the plot before that point, though?
Oh, the plot again, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. The plot was cool up until the military got involved. Up until the government got involved and all that. Because that's so. It is so Michael Bay Transformers cliche to me. Like, oh, the government's involved now, so like now it's serious. Like, you got to answer to somebody. Like,
good point.
Yeah,
I don't like that when you involve the government or military in something that is a bigger concept than that, because that just downplays what they're after in the story. Like, you're talking about something revolutionary, basically creating a wormhole that you can jump to and back from.
Oh.
Why the fuck?
And they immediately jump to like the government wanting to use
this to weaponize it.
To get powers.
How fucking boring! Like, oh my,
Yeah.
like, wow, so original.
They could have had such a deeper plot to that. I agree.
Like,
not have them at all. No,
exactly. Like just
take. No, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like
we
the
just
takes away from it.
We just found another dimension. Like, let's weaponize it.
Like, that's like, what? And on top of that, again, because the movie is so heavy in spoon feeding you information. Literally, when they in the last fight scene, the only fight scene of the fucking movie. Literally, when they transport back to that planet, Reed literally tells us everything that they have to do. He goes, "We have to stop him. We have to stop Doom. We have to work together." Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, yeah. It wasn't a good movie.
So yeah, it was just I just felt, but again, the things that I can take from it that I'm like, I like this was cool, making them younger. Also, I have, like, when we talk later about what we want to see going forward, like what we expect going forward. It's just, I just feel like this did fit that concept really properly. Like, a bunch of young kids who are bright and intelligent just working together on something, because people forget that Fantastic Four is is known as the first Marvel family. Like, they're dysfunctional.
Yeah.
They work together. Like, that's their dynamic, that they're family. That's what it's based around. So
that literally was the point of Stanley creating them, because
exactly.
Marvel had to compete with Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like the first like team up where it's like they're more relatable. Like, they're supposed to be relatable because they're a family.
Exactly.
This just does not do it for me.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't do it. Like, it was such a tease to do that with Ben and Reed in the beginning, because although the child acting was god awful and didn't care, the idea behind these two kids who come from different situations in life, where Ben clearly is in an abusive household, Reed comes from also a broken
Parents
home
don't care.
where exactly, like, his stepfather, he has a stepfather, he has a mom who, like, they're not really involved in his life, and again, that is kind of tragic, and how they can both come together and work on something that they both like.
Right.
So
the theme was family.
Yeah.
And they mentioned it, but they didn't expand on it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then you get Sue Storm, who is supposed to be, further down the stretch, however the story goes in any iteration of Fantastic Four. But as far as I know it, Sue Storm marries Reed Richards, and they have Franklin Richards, who goes on to be like the most powerful being at a time in the comics. But Sue Storm is also the rock of the family, like the one that holds everybody together. Like,
that's the thing, you dumbass.
The rock of the family. Ugh.
You know what I mean, but
bad joke.
yeah. So I'm gonna hit us both with the old brother.
Oh, bro.
But yeah. So you have also Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm's relationship, like the two guys who are just so annoyed with each other all the time that they don't get along. Like another dynamic there, barely explored here, because Ben Grimm was just written out of the fucking script like halfway in the movie.
They had like 3 lines to one another.
It was really bad. I didn't like that at all, but that's about it. If I could give this, let me see through my notes if I have anything else.
Do you what do you think was better, the old movies or this one?
I rather the first 30 minutes of this one over those other 2 movies.
Okay, so you think that this movie is better?
Yeah.
Y'all need to rewatch the other ones.
No.
Next movie is fantastic. Actually, both movies together.
No. I rather quit my job.
I'm not watching fucking Constantine, bro. We're doing Fantastic Four.
Then I guess you're watching it by yourself, my guy. I'm not watching that shit. I am not watching that shit.
Son.
Nah, bro.
All right, we'll take a break from Fantastic Four.
My boy's
and
up
we'll
and
get
down,
to it.
bro.
But yeah,
Bro.
but yeah, it was really bad. Like another thing that I did like was also the body horror aspect of it. It's a scary thing getting powers, and I like how they portrayed that. Like especially Reed, like, what the fuck is going on? Like his
Yeah.
and also good. Ben, I felt really bad for him because he's like, Reed, help me, like come on, like, what is this? Like, what happened to me? Like, I like that. He's
looking to like the guy who he thinks is like he's had all the answers since I was a kid.
Exactly, and he feels like he let him down,
and he just flat out fucking leaves me. Like,
yeah, it sucks, and it's also great. And this is sarcasm.
And then right there is where it all went down.
Yeah, this is also sarcasm. Like, I love how he goes, damn, my best friend left me, and I don't want to be like this, but I'll kill people, fine, no problem. Like,
yeah, I'll start working for the U.S. government.
Like, yeah, my dick, bro. Like,
they made him such a big like idiot. And it just that's what pisses me off.
It's not even like an idiot. It just made him like a henchman.
Yeah, almost. He felt very henchman.
Where he's just like, you know what, go do this. And he's like, okay. Like,
okay.
Where's Reed? Okay. Like,
and this is a guy who's facing a personal tragedy, literally, because like, Sue Storm is like, she's gotten over it, like, fine. Johnny Storm, that should also be something that's terrifying.
Well, I mean, even in the old movies, he loved it. He loved it as soon as he got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Yeah, like, but it's still a terrifying experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like that they made it like this kind of scary. Like, it was pretty graphic. It was like, oh shit. Like,
yeah,
I like that. I like that. It just sucks with what they did with it after that. So, but yeah, I give again. If I could give this a 0 on IMDb, I could, but I had to give it a 1. So no. This shouldn't have happened. But let me get into the tea, my guys.
All right.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Brian's like, yo,
yeah. Brian just muted his mic. He's like, oh yeah.
All right, so this film was pitched to Josh Trank before he even released his first film, which was called Chronicle, which also starred Michael B. Jordan.
Oh shit.
Yep. And that
I
movie,
was hyped for that movie. I was hyped for that movie.
that
too.
movie was received pretty well, and it was doing pretty
Really
well in the
good.
box office. And that movie only cost $12 million.
Yeah, because it was a lot of it was PO, like the camera. Like,
Exactly, it
POV
was like
shit.
this found footage kind of movie,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool for the time because the only other
Still
kind
waiting
of
on the sequel.
for Chronicle, really?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on it.
Well, that's also a factor in all this because when they approached my Josh Trank about this, they were Fox was like, "We want to reboot, and we think we like how you did." They were so impressed with Chronicle, they were like, "We want to give you a chance to help us develop with Simon Kinberg, who also does all the X-Men films." And Simon Kinberg is very hit or miss with stuff because he's good with shit like Days of Future Past, but then also we get Dark Phoenix, but then also we get the other X-Men movies. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. And Josh Trank actually got, like, I guess for some reason he wanted a blessing from Stan Lee to cast Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch, which I don't think Stan would even have an issue with overall because like
Why?
I don't know why you would think you would have to get a blessing. Like, oh, I guess because he felt that there will. I think because he knows that the backlash from it changing, you know, the racial thing, like, oh, like Human Torch is black now, like, oh my gosh.
Oh, he could use it as backup.
Exactly, like, oh, but Stan Lee gave me his blessing, so it's good. Like, that's corny that you'd think that. So Josh Trank, you corny for that.
Oh.
Doodoo.
Calling him out.
Doodoo.
And so what else? What else I got in my notes about this? So 3 major action set pieces were removed by Fox.
3?
Yep.
Oh my fucking god.
So Fox, when Josh Trank first had a cut of the film,
Mark is so disappointed.
which is
Oh my
basically,
fucking God.
so remember, Josh Trank's cut is the first 30 minutes. After that, Fox.
Wow. That's so fucking.
So basically, up until the accident and their reaction to the accident, that's
Right.
all Fox. That's all Josh Trank. After that,
Wait, so he's the one who decided to have rocks thrown at Ben?
yeah, as bad as that was,
that's like one error in the first 30 minutes.
I guess, yeah, that was besides the child acting, but
Oh well, yeah, the child acting is stuff that's bad in like almost every movie.
but yeah, so Fox didn't like the dark tone and all that. Like
Not
they
media.
didn't like where that
It
was.
wasn't that dark.
Yeah, but again, they didn't.
Well, the shit that we saw wasn't that dark.
Yeah, they didn't like that. So they did a lot of
Roger's
behind the
Warner
But they
scenes.
liked Chronicle?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so confusing.
I guess
Yeah,
this
I
is a superhero movie.
Yeah.
You can't go up to someone and say, "Hey, I like what you did with Chronicle. I want you to do Fantastic Four." So you're like, "Okay, I should probably do the same thing, right?" And then they're like, "Nah, bro, this shit is not good."
Again, another example of a studio like kind of exploiting. You're exploiting a young director who's like who's out here and trying to like get his name out here by doing what he wants to do. Because clearly, Chronicle, how that ended up going. You have a small budget film with a director who clearly did enough for the movie to be well received. So that's a lot of pressure for a young director getting, especially if a studio comes to you like, yo, we'll give you $200 million for you to like make whatever you want. That's a lot of pressure, especially if you're used to doing small time production. So
Right.
yeah, that whole Victor Von Doom thing was a mixture of Fox and Josh Trank. and Simon Kinberg. So y'all could blame all three parties for that.
I liked it the first 30
He
minutes.
looks like Bender from Futurama. Like, fuck out of here, bro.
No, I said I liked the first 30 minutes. I'm saying.
Oh. I thought you were talking about Dr. Doom, but
yeah, the grills for his mouth.
You mean like how he looked?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that was the problem.
But yeah, also Victor Von Doom was supposed to be a computer programmer, not like a scientist. Like he was supposed to be like this blogger, / computer programmer. Like, and his name wasn't gonna be Victor Von Doom. It was gonna be something else, and it was gonna be some corny like turnaround of his name and stuff. Like Josh Trank also like during filming, like apparently like he went on rampages and like will break shit on set and all that.
Oh.
Like over frustrations with Fox and all that. The CGI supervisor was fucking fired, like without Trank knowing about it.
I could tell,
which explains why a lot of the CGI looks rushed.
It's so annoying. It's like, do you really think that cutting, like people aren't gonna notice this shit? Like even with me not even know, I think, or I don't know if all of you knew, but I didn't know anything about this backstory.
No. I knew more about the movie without even watching it. This was the first time I watched it.
I had no clue, and I already knew the part where they stopped it at, where all the reshoots happened. I literally said it, and then Arrow was like, "Yeah, it happened literally at that point."
Yep.
It's crazy that people don't think that. They don't think that. How dumb do they think that we are? You know what I mean? Like
right?
They're dumb enough to think that people will still check it out because again, this is coming at a time in 2015 where. Again, the superhero age is still young, relatively, at least the new age, and it was just another film coming out, and I think it's a huge issue, marketing wise, for this film to not have a trailer until after January of the same year that it came out. What? That's crazy.
Like, it went in theaters though.
It went in theaters, I think, in May or June that year. But usually, at
least one trailer.
Exactly, one trailer in the year before.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's not good marketing wise. So
well, that's when you already know shit is fucked up.
Exactly. So also, Josh Trank was not allowed in the editing room for the film. Like Fox deadass, like they G'd him, bro.
Who the fuck edited this?
Nah, they had one of the kids that were in the
acting child actors.
Yo, edit this shit.
Got a homework assignment for your bum ass.
Yeah, like
that's embarrassing.
That's so fucking bad.
That is bad.
And
that's actually
and another big issue.
I don't think Warner Brothers would have done that shit, and they're fucking.
Don't fucking underestimate Warner Brothers.
Yeah, don't underestimate Warner Brothers. We got Green Lantern.
So this is worse than Green Lantern.
Green Lantern was
worse than Green Lantern.
But another problem that Fox started was also franchise building, like kind of out of nowhere making room in the story to just go, nah, like we want to come together, like we want to work alone, like we don't want to work with you, government, like give us a facility. And the government's just like, okay.
okay, you fucking
okay.
Idiots.
Like funny that you mentioned that. We have an entire
some shit in New York.
Exactly. Like we have an entire facility already built that you could just move into right now. Like,
where is it? It's in the rainforest. Go ahead.
It just sucks that it's also a very uneventful movie. Like, obviously, since they cut 3 major action set pieces,
lackluster, completely.
Nothing happened. Like, literally nothing. Like Victor Von Doom's motivations and all that stuff was Fox like just trying to put that in and maybe sell toys or something because there was nothing compelling about.
Wait, and like he died.
That rampage that
he died.
How do you kill off Dr. Doom?
That's
like
that's another problem, and
none of us mentioned that.
It just sucks. And like, wait, let me read you guys a tweet that Josh Trank.
Oh boy,
lay it on me.
You got the Carfax?
Oh my God, I said I know things.
You got the screenshot.
All right, so he said this was in 2016. He said, a year ago, I had a fantastic version of this, and it would have received great reviews. You'll probably never see it. That's reality, though.
Wow.
Yo,
You should hop on that Zack Snyder.
release that cut right now. Right ASAP, Rocky, right now.
So, unfortunately, Fox went to Josh Trank, pitching him a pretty cool IP. An intellectual property in the Fantastic Four is something that should be at least respected, because it's another kind of that weird, like, it's in that same realm as Green Lantern, where like you're dealing with space stuff. That's interesting. That will always bring people to your theater, no matter what. You had a $200 million budget and you made $56 million back. Like, what are y'all doing? And it just sucks because Fox is weird. They're iffy because they show favoritism. Like, they let Matthew Vaughn give us X-Men First Class, but then they over here fucking Josh Trank over. So it's like, so you do want somebody young, but also you expect them to be as experienced as Matthew Vaughn. Like, what? Like, come on. Bullshit. Well, yeah, this is another example of a studio, exploiting a promising young director and completely dropping the ball in production. Like fuck this, like, for real. So made me want to quit my job. So
I wish they would like talk about it though. Like, I wish like the director would be like, all right, here's actually what I wanted to do.
No, he did. You guys could check that out on Kevin Smith's. He was on Kevin Smith's podcast a couple years ago.
Look that shit up.
And he was on there, and he gave it up. He was like, "Yo, like they fucked me over." Like,
so but he said what he was gonna do.
I'm pretty sure he went into some sort of detail about what he had planned for, but he like a lot like what we got from it was that, or at least for what the rumors were that Fox would just cut the budget, like, about in terms of what they could do, like basically limiting his resources and limiting his creativity. So clearly this was a movie that was made for money.
Absolutely. And it didn't get that.
It just had the soul sucked out of it. So in a bad way.
So now, subjectively speaking, hey yo. Subjectively speaking,
fucking yo.
Are the rights for the Fantastic Four characters in good hands now with Marvel Studios?
Fuck yeah.
Well, considering that I will be heading the script writing on that.
But here's my thing. Although, I know people have probably listened and said, "Oh, Clown Prince is really not like the MCU." That is completely false. They do some things I 100% don't like, but they obviously do a lot that I do like. And I feel it really can't get much worse than what Fox gave us in the 2015 Fantastic Four.
Especially with the possibilities that we can get, because
they have a lot more options now.
Because I don't remember who pitched this idea on the internet. I don't remember who, because I don't want to give credit to the wrong person, so I'll just give it to myself. So
probably Charlie.
Oh my god!
Yes. I was trying not to mention it, but I think that the Fantastic Four should be a fish out of water kind of story. Like, again, hear me out. I don't know who pitched this idea, but imagine if they went off into space, and if you guys remember in Interstellar how space works, the further away you are from Earth, the quicker time passes by. Mm-hmm. So imagine if they're a family in the 50s that get together, go away, come back somehow due to the snap or something. Like they'll find a way to incorporate it into what's going on in the MCU. Or Doctor Strange. Or Galactus, or like some bigger kind of thing, like has them coming back, and then they get back to Earth and it's like present day, and they're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
And a lot of people want John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to
That would be amazing.
Oh my god, please.
That would be amazing.
Who's your pick for Johnny Storm?
Johnny Storm? Nah, I want to save this for our comic book movie
Our
draft.
Our draft.
Yeah.
Coming
Save
soon.
that for the draft.
I want to save that for the draft because I think that depending on how the MCU plans on taking this, I think that it's a really good opportunity to use their cosmic side of the universe to an advantage. Like really, like give us a really big story that involves everybody that we've seen already. Because I could totally see Galactus being, I guess, the next big bad, and somehow the Guardians are involved as well as the Fantastic Four. So.
Speaking of which,
What's up?
are we all done with Fantastic Four talk?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I fucking hated
Yeah.
it. Never want to see it again. See ya.
What's the next film up? We got Constantine.
We either have Constantine, Thor, Thor 2, Sucker Punch, Venom, Iron Man 2, Suicide Squad.
Let's just get Constantine out the way.
Oh no.
Yeah, all right.
I'll do it.
I
You
think-
know
I
what?
think-
It's literally
think-
the oldest movie on the list, so it's better to get that out the way.
No, actually, I have a app on my phone, like the little spin the wheel. So give me all the names through text, and
All
I'll
right.
spin the wheel.
I got
for the
no. I'll
next-
just text. I'll tell you right now. It's Constantine.
I gotta open up the app now. Okay.
We might as well do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it
I'll do it
live.
live. Okay. So
Fuck it,
before
I'll do it live.
before we do it live, I just wanted to
Bill
bring
O'Reilly,
some
that piece of crap.
MCU news that just sprung up while we've been talking live here.
Well, what happened?
Director Taika Waititi has teased the return of Hulk/Banner in Thor: Love and Thunder because he was on IG Live with Tessa Thompson and Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, shout out de lo mío.
So here are the confirmed and teased character appearances: Thor, obviously, Korg, Hulk/Bruce Banner, Valkyrie, Jane Foster, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Christian Bale as the villain.
Wow.
So far, this shit sounds crazy lit, but Taika Waititi's directing it, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I want to get Ariel's reaction. Okay, let's spin that wheel.
All right. So it's
Hold
Constantine.
on. Wait, it's loading.
No, what you made it sound like it was ready to go.
Oh no, I'm like
Sorry. Create new decision. Create new question. Movie to rate next. Add new option. Go ahead.
Constantine.
Constantine. Okay.
Thor.
Thor.
Thor: The Dark World.
You can just watch Thor 2, Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Sucker Punch.
Okay.
Venom. And y'all really want to do Suicide Squad?
Huh?
Oh yeah, we had to do Suicide Squad too, right?
Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
All right.
Anything else?
Then that's it so far.
Spin it.
So, Constantine, Thor, Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 2, Sucker Punch, Venom, Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Yes.
Yo, we're not putting prisoners on this?
No, fuck. Yo, if you didn't like Prisoners, quit your job.
You got a problem.
It's your job. It's not even hug your mom no more because that's not allowed. Quit your job.
That's not allowed.
Yeah, it's not allowed.
All right. Ready? I am spinning the wheel in 30, 29, 20.
Wait, no, don't do that.
I'm spinning it now. Ding, 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 ding. Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh,
An
I spun
ad?
the wrong wheel, guys. I am so
Oh my
fucking
God.
sorry.
He spun the wheel for what TV show we got to watch next.
That's exactly. I swear to God, that's exactly what it was. Look, I swear to God, what show should I watch? What show
Really?
should I watch?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm
That
a
is-
sorcerer.
Wow. Movie to rate next. There you go. Okay. Ding 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 ding.
Wait, let me see it.
Sucker Punch, bitch.
Yeah. Lit.
He's hyped.
He's like, yeah, a movie I actually like.
Yeah.
It's lit. I like
Bro,
actually.
I've never heard of this movie.
You never heard of this movie?
Zack
It was
Snyder movie.
it was
Directed by
Zack
the
Snyder's.
Coen
It was Zack Snyder's third or second movie or fourth.
It's probably gonna be only decent. Fuck.
No, it's very. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure he based his color palette of BVS off of Sucker Punch. Because it looked like the way it's shot, bro. Like, so good.
So okay,
good.
my last thing I want to run by before we head out, and because Brian's eyes are closing.
Yeah, he has to bend metal early in the morning.
I'm chilling
for 60 hours.
No, what I was gonna say was, so I am starting Ozark. If I finish by the end of this weekend, do you guys want to record that podcast next week?
Yes.
As soon as possible, bro. I can't wait to talk about Ozark.
Okay, my bad. My bad. Shit.
It's losing.
I want 2-day Amazon Prime shipping on that.
Oh shit. I bet. Well, I'm not seeing my girl this weekend, so I got all the time in the
Yo,
world.
Kayla, too bad.
All right, so we'll do Ozark hopefully next week, and then we'll do Sucker Punch the week after.
Bet.
And I don't think any breaking news is gonna come up unless it's released a Snyder Cut, so we can just stick on that schedule. But that's it for me, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see y'all next week.
Yes.
Adios, guys.